I'm excited to introduce Congressman Khanna. He is a rising star in Congress. He's got an incredible vision for revitalizing our manufacturing base across America, and high-speed rail is part of that vision. He's played a lead role in helping pass the CHIPS Act to bring chip manufacturing to America, and he's also been an outspoken voice defending the California high-speed rail project and also laying out his vision for how we can not lose the green race to China that he wrote an op-ed with John Kerry. So, without further ado, Congressman Khanna.
Great to follow Representative Costa, and I appreciate his leadership. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for your leadership. I appreciate all of you being here, being such passionate advocates for high-speed rail. You know, President Carter said recently, before his health issues, that China has 18,000 miles of high-speed rail. And for the $3 trillion that we spent on these overseas wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, imagine if we had put that money into building the United States. $400 billion is all it would have taken when President Obama ran to have high-speed rail across America. What would have made America stronger, wealthier, more of a manufacturing power? Being there for 20 years in Afghanistan, being there in Iraq, or putting that investment in high-speed rail? We've made strategic mistakes over the last 20 years in this country that have cost us our ability to lead, and we need to change course. We made a mistake by offshoring so much of our production. We made a mistake by hollowing out our industrial base, and we made a mistake by not investing in future technologies and future investment. Being for high-speed rail is not just being for the climate. Being for high-speed rail is being for American excellence, for American predominance in the economy. And that is why I mean, you look at it, it would cost, when President Obama ran, I mean, he was talking about high-speed rail back then, in 2008, across the country. It was a $400 billion plan. Now, let me just put that in context. $400 billion over 10 years. The American GDP over 10 years is going to be about $300 trillion. So we're talking about a 0.1% investment of our GDP in having high-speed rail across the United States. That's a productive investment that will pay for itself over and over again. And we have to make the argument in our communities about why that matters, about why this is actually an investment that is going to help the economy, help us tackle the climate, help us be a manufacturing superpower, to allow for supply chains across America. The cost, I mean, people keep pointing to California, where we've actually started doing this, from Bakersfield to Fresno. Hopefully we'll then come up to Gilroy and to San Jose. The cost of that, the tens of billions of dollars cost, has to put into the context of what this country is spending. We're spending almost $1 trillion every year on our military budget. $7.8 trillion over 10 years. They never give you the 10-year number when it comes to the Pentagon. They give you the 1-year number. The reality is that we have to look at what's actually going to make us the strongest country in the world. But won World War II. Other than the brave men who were scaling the cliffs in Normandy and the women who were in the industries, was the fact that we outproduced Japan and Germany 2-1. We need to make sure that we're going to outproduce China. And the high-speed rail is part of that. And then finally, when it comes to the climate, I mean, I was very proud of the IRA. I was very proud of what we did with the Inflation Reduction Act. But again, just to put those numbers in context, $369 billion over 10 years. That compares to $7.8 trillion over 10 years on defense, and it compares to a $300 trillion economy. We're spending less than 0.1% of our GDP on climate. And it doesn't do anything, the IRA, when it comes to public infrastructure. Public transportation doesn't do much. Doesn't do enough when it comes to the electricity grid. Doesn't do enough when it comes to water infrastructure. So in my view, instead of patting ourselves on the back, we have to say, okay, this is the first step. We've got miles to go. That's what the young people understand around this country. That's the ambition they have. They understand that they don't want politicians out there giving a rote speech. We did this, we did this, we did this. They tune out. They say, where do we want to go as a country? Where do we need to go? And how are we going to get there? And that's what all of you are about making sure that we have the grandeur of vision that Hamilton had, that Lincoln had, that FDR had, to rebuild America, to rebuild our economic might, to rebuild our industry across the country, to make sure we're leading in technology, leading in climate, and the high-speed rail is going to be a critical part of that. So I just appreciate your commitment to this. I believe we'll be vindicated. I don't know how many years it'll take for that vindication, but we will be vindicated. And I admire your persistence, your vision towards this end, and I look forward to continuing to be a champion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congressman Khanna.